CNN's Ivan Watson is standing by in Hong Kong with the latest from there. Ivan, China doubling down, issuing some strong words after the U.S. downed the balloon?
That's right. Beijing is now saying that if the U.S. flies a balloon over China, it'll probably shoot it down. Look at this statement coming from the Chinese Defense Ministry. Quote, "The U.S. used force to attack our civilian unmanned airship, which is an obvious overreaction. We express solemn protest against this move by the U.S. side and reserve the right to use necessary means to deal with similar situations." There has been a shift in the tone from Beijing. On Friday evening, the Chinese Foreign Ministry expressed regret, saying that its airship, as it described it, which was used primarily for research purposes, had blown off course over the U.S. And now the Chinese government, different ministries are protesting the fact that this U.S. fighter jet shot the balloon down. The damage on the diplomatic front has already been visible, with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken postponing a trip that he was supposed to make this weekend to Beijing over this balloon scandal and calling the existence of this balloon over U.S. airspace a violation of U.S. sovereignty and of international law. The Chinese response has been, hey, this is this is due to weather. It's out of our control. They have been communicating with their U.S. counterparts, but this has clearly done some damage to what was an effort that began in November between President Biden and the Chinese leader Xi Jinping when they met face-to-face at the G20 summit in Bali to try to basically put a stop to the downward spiraling relations between the world's two largest economies. We'll just have to see whether there can be any efforts to revive diplomacy in the wake of this, I would argue, a growing crisis.
How was this incident seen in the region?
Well, look, it is creating repercussions elsewhere. The Canadian government came out over the weekend saying that this balloon had been seen in Canadian airspace. It summoned China's ambassador to Ottawa then. And now we're getting reports of a second object flying over Central and Latin America that looks remarkably similar to the balloon that was just shot down over the U.S. It was seen over Costa Rica, according to Costa Rican officials, on Thursday. And then on Friday, the Colombian Air Force put out this statement saying that this object was seen at an altitude of above 55,000 feet, which is roughly the same altitude as the balloon that was seen over the U.S., that it was monitored and it was moving at a speed of 25 knots, and that the Colombians followed it until it left Colombian airspace. A U.S. official telling CNN they believe that this also is, as they put it, a Chinese surveillance balloon. We have put a question into the Chinese government asking whether or not this is, in fact, a Chinese airship, as they've put it, about the previous balloon that was seen over U.S. airspace. And also, U.S. officials have said that they have also seen similar Chinese, as they put it, surveillance balloons 3 times over U.S. airspace during the Trump administration, and at least once over the U.S. Earlier during the Biden administration. Why has this, sorry to do this, why is this blown up this time? Well, U.S. officials say they haven't seen it loitering over U.S. airspace for such a duration of time in the past. And we don't know that ordinary citizens have been able to see this kind of balloon with their own eyes, with the naked eye, and take pictures of it before. And that's part of what's adding to the alarm here.
Ivan Watson reporting from Hong Kong. Thanks so much, Ivan. Mary Schiavo.